Francine Ivery from the Southwest Virginia Higher Education Center is in the kitchen this morning, and we are talking about this new class of yours. It's called As Easy as American Pie, right?
Right.
Francine, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, no problem. So, as easy as apple pie, but we are talking about apple dumplings today.
Right.
And really, we're talking about all things apple.
Right, we are.
Tis the season, right?
Exactly. Apples are very versatile, and this time of the year, it's really great for them. And so I bought a few different types of apples that I'll tell you a little bit about, and then we'll get into our apple dumpling for today. One of the best baking apples that's very tart and crisp is the Granny Smith apple.
The green one, you can't miss it.
Yes, you can't miss that. So Granny Smith is really good. It's great for baking, holds up really well, so it's very good. Another good apple also for baking, it's sweet and tart, and that's the Honeycrisp apple.
Yes, we were talking about that. That's my favorite one, and you could honestly just eat that just by itself.
Exactly, and it's good in salads and things like that, as well as it bakes well and it holds up well as also.
Great.
And then, of course, there is the favorite apple that you bring to your teacher, the Red Delicious, which everybody's pretty familiar with. And so it's good, it's sweet, but it doesn't do that well for baking.
Right, so maybe just stick with the Honeycrisp and Granny Smith.
This is a better just eating apple.
Okay.
And then there's the other apple is the Gala apple.
Right.
And the Gala is also kind of a sweet, slightly tart apple, and it's also good for eating and for baking too a little bit.
And so one thing that's so great about the apples is that you can use them in so many different recipes, like you mentioned, from salads to pies to dumplings like we're making today. But one thing that you will have to do if you use it in baking is peel them.
Exactly. and I'm a gadget person here. I love gadgets.
Right.
And this is the neatest thing, I think.
I'm a kitchen gadget
person
too, so I'm
and of course also there's the regular gadgets that we have here, the apple peelers and all kinds. You know, you can do that by hand or just use a paring knife to do it.
Right.
But because I like gadgets, I bought the apple peeler in to show you how that works. And I laugh to myself because this is kind of one of those things where if you have kids, you know, and they do cute things and you want to show everybody, and then when you have the opportunity, they won't do it.
Right.
Well, sometimes when I'm operating that, it won't do right.
Well,
but we're hoping that it will today.
Yes.
So we're going to go ahead and peel this apple using the
Granny Smith.
We're using the Granny Smith because we'll be using this in a recipe. And we just pull this down and pull our lever back.
Okay.
And just put the apple right on there. Just press it right on there like that. And then we just turn our little wheel here. Isn't that neat?
Awesome.
I just love that.
You're getting me in trouble. I'm going to want to go buy one now.
I think it's really neat.
And that
there you have the peels there, and you can dispose of those. And then also you can take pull the apple off, and the core comes right out. And I love the way the apple holds together.
Yes.
See, it holds together like that.
I love that. That is really cool.
We'll be using that. And what I did, once you peel the apples, a lot of times they will have a tendency to turn brown.
Okay.
I just have them in some water and a little lemon juice, and that takes care of that.
And so that's what you suggest people maybe put their apples, their sliced apples in
water and a little lemon juice. And I think sometimes some people do use a little salt water, but I prefer the lemon juice with the fruit.
Perfect.
So that works well.
And so we are making apple dumplings.
We are.
For a lot of people who may not know what apple dumplings are, what are they? And we're going to be making the crust first, right?
Right. It's basically just an apple set in the middle of a piece of crust, and the crust is pulled up around it and made like a pocket. So the apple is in a pocket. And then when you put it in your pan, you're going to put a syrup over it, and you're going to put it in the oven and bake it.
Sounds delicious. And
really
so
great.
we are going to make the crust first real quick.
So what we start out with is we're going to start out with 3 cups of flour, which I've already measured out here.
Okay.
So we will just dump that in our bowl. It's
just all-purpose flour?
All-purpose flour. Very, very easy. We'll put that in our bowl. And then we're going to use a teaspoon of salt, and we'll measure that out and put that in there as well. And then next we're going to use a cup of shortening.
Okay.
And then we just put our shortening in there. And then what you want to do is you want to mix those ingredients together. You can do that by using a pastry blender. You can do it by using your hands. I usually use my hands because it mixes better and I get a better feel for it. Because eventually, once you get this mixed up, what you want it to come to is like crumbly, like coarse cornmeal. And then from that point
that's
on,
what it's supposed to
look like that. Yeah.
So it goes from this originally to this.
Once you've mixed that up really well, using a pastry blender, using your hands or whatever, you're going to get it like this. And once you get it like that, then you're going to be adding water to that.
Great.
When you add your water, I would suggest that you use ice water.
Okay.
The ice water helps the shortening to stay solid and solidify.
Stick together.
And it also helps with the flakiness of your pie crust.
Some great tips right there. And when we come back, we'll continue to make these apple dumplings. I can't wait to get started. Francine, thank you so much. And don't forget, As American as Apple Pie, the class is happening Monday, October 9th from 6 to 9 p.m. at the Southwest Virginia Higher Education Center.